the Kentucky Derby. And it's back to normal this year.
Yeah, no restrictions, right? Unless you're Bob Baffert. Huh?
Hopefully that's not our name. We could go if we wanted.
Bob Baffert suspended. He is going to have some former horses there, though, and some of the contenders. And there are many contenders at the Derby this year. Hammer and Hank Goldberg told us that as many as 6 or 7 different horses could win this thing. They are expecting rain Friday, but dry Saturday.
I'm going to get you that hat.
Yes, I would wear it. Only to the Derby, though. It's going to be a little cool. Temperatures in the mid-60s. You need to try a mint julep again. I think you'll reconsider your stance. Zandon is the favorite, Amanda, out of the 10 spot. Epicenter with the second shortest odds on the morning line, 7-2. But a bunch of horses out of the 20.
Bomb.
Yeah, can win this thing. Let's bring in Sportsline's Gene Menez and noted Derby enthusiast Avery Johnson, who is going to be attending again this Saturday. Avery, what number is this for you, and how do you get ready for the Kentucky Derby?
Well, Chris, this will be my 12th Kentucky Derby. I haven't gone for the last 3 years for, COVID restrictions, and I had a son that graduated and got his master's degree on Derby Day. I don't know why he picked that day to graduate from college, but this is my 12th Derby. You got to get your outfits ready. You got to be fly. On Friday for Derby Day, it's called that's the Oaks Day, and that's when it's more dedicated to breast cancer awareness and breast cancer survivors. So you want to have something pink in your outfit on Friday, and then the big day Derby Saturday. My first Derby was in 1997, Bob Baffert's Derby victory with a horse called Silver Charm. So I'm really excited. You got to have your outfits ready, and then you got to do your homework. It's like a scouting report in basketball. You got to watch video. You got to look at the workouts and the past performances and get ready for the Derby.
I'm jealous of Avery. I've only been to the Kentucky Derby twice, and I'm with you, Coach. Like, who gets married and who has a graduation on Kentucky Derby Saturday? My wife actually is going to a wedding on Saturday. I'm going to the track. One thing for a Kentucky Derby party, Coach covered it all, but you got to have some sort of wagering game or something. Funny story, in 1989, my dad, I was 15, and my dad told me he was going to a Derby party, and he asked me, hey, who do you like in the Kentucky Derby? And I just happened to have seen a highlight of Sunday Silence on TV. So I go, you know what, why don't you take Sunday Silence? So he goes to this Derby party. Sunday Silence wins, obviously. Then my dad comes back. His hair is all wet. His clothes are all wet. He pulls out a wad of $20 bills, and he hands me one of them. And he says, thanks, kid. Apparently, they had thrown him into the pool after Sunday Silence had won, and he had won their Derby betting game. So it's a fun day all around.
And that's the great thing about horse racing as well. You don't have to win to come out in the money. I mean, you can win, place, or show, right? You got the trifectas, you got the superfectas. We're going to get to that in just a second. Avery, go ahead.
And Chris, the wives have to have the right kind of stylish hats. Derby's all about the hats.
Well, I was going to ask you, the guys wear hats too. Where were your hats?
No, I'm not wearing a hat this year, Chris. That Steve Harvey, I'll leave that to my buddy Steve Harvey. We'll be sitting in the same area. He's going to have on some type of fly hat. Steve Harvey or Michael Jordan.
Well, Zandon is the favorite.
Name dropping.
Of course, Avery's going to name drop. Avery's the general. 3-1 favorite is Zandon in this thing. But Gene, how wide open is this one compared to some others that we've had?
I think it's pretty wide open. Zandon is the 3-1 favorite. Epicenter is 7-2, but I think you can really count on narrow it down to about 5 or 6 horses who have a chance of winning, and that's a pretty good amount. So in addition to Zandon and Epicenter, Messier, the Santa Anita Derby runner-up, also has a big shot. He's 8-1. Taiba, who won the Santa Anita Derby, and is 12-1 on the morning line. He's making his 3rd start and trying to become the first horse since 1883 to win the Kentucky Derby in just his 3rd start. And there's also Mo Donegal, who won the Wood Memorial, coming from way off the pace. He's 10-1 on the morning line. So I think those are going to be the major contenders, and you could probably sprinkle in maybe a couple long shots to fill out underneath.
Specific to Zandon, I was very impressed with his win in the Toyota Bluegrass, and especially after coming up short in the Risen Star, coming up short in that race. I like Zandon. I like how he breaks, because it's going to be very important, especially breaking from the 10 post position. That first turn at the Derby, it's critical to be in the right position. Rarely are we going to see somebody come from last to first to win the Derby. So you got to be well positioned. This horse is training well. Yeah, he ran a nice 5.8 in a minute's time in his last workout. Chad Brown is an outstanding trainer. He's coming off of a race with a 98 buyer in the Toyota Bluegrass. So I think he's well positioned to really accelerate once he hits the top of the stretch, to have an opportunity to win the Derby.
And we're not going to have Bob Baffert at Churchill Downs this season. After last year's winner, Medina Spirit, failed that post-race drug test. He's been suspended, will not appear at any Triple Crown race this season. Gene, what's his mark on this year's Kentucky Derby going to be? Because he still has a couple of horses that he used to train in the field as some of the favorites out there, top 5 in odds.
Well, you're right. He won't be there physically, but he will be there. His presence will be felt on Saturday. 2 of his former horses, Messier, who the Santa Anita Derby runner-up, and Taiba, the Santa Derby winner, are 2 of the 5 major contenders on Saturday. They are now trained by Tim Yakteen, who was a former Baffert assistant and really defended Baffert through Baffert's legal wranglings over the last year. Cynics on various horse racing platforms refer to these 2 horses Baffteen horses, combining Baffert and Tim Yakteen, and thinking that maybe Baffert still had a little input into the way these horses are being trained. You got to figure Baffert trained these horses for basically 10 months up until the end of March, and they've only been under the care of Tim Yakteen for the last month. And how you handicap these horses really will determine what you do with the race. Some people think that now that they're Tim Yakteen, that you might get a better price than if they were with Bob Baffert, and I agree. Messier is 8-1 on the morning line. He would be half that. So would Taiba, who's 12-1 on the morning line. You would not get those prices if they were trained by Bob Baffert.
Well, so they are 2 of the potential winners in this Derby. As Gene said, as Hammer and Hank has said, we could have 5, 6 different horses here who challenge for a victory and could potentially win this. And Avery, I'm happy to see an Iowa-owned horse in the field, Mo Donegal. I know he's a good closer, but he's on the rail. Why do you still like him at 10-1?
Well, I believe in Uncle Mo as a sire, and obviously Uncle Mo got scratched, several years ago on Derby Day, and he was coming into the Derby as arguably the favorite. But I like Mo Donegal. I like Irad Ortiz, the jockey. I'm bullish on Todd Pletcher, the trainer. And then I also love Mike Rapoli, who just bought 25% of Mo Donegal, who was Uncle Mo's owner. He bought into this horse. He believes in it. He's going to probably have one of the favorites named Nest in the Kentucky Oaks on Friday. But I just love Mo Donegal. He's 2 for 2 from breaking from the 1 hole in his last 2 out of his last 3 races when he's been in the 1 post position. So I don't think it's going to bother him. You got a very experienced jockey. So historically, this has not been a really good post position in the Kentucky Derby. But I'm looking for Mo Donegal to break the pattern and win this race at some very nice odds.
Yeah, Coach, I think you're going to get better than 10-1 odds on Mo Donegal just because he drew the number 1 rail. And people forget, they changed the starting gate at the Kentucky Derby. They have this new, better starting gate. So the 1 hole isn't as disadvantageous as it was, 5-10 years ago. So And as you said, he comes from way back. So the number one hole really doesn't affect him. He won the Remsen from the number one hole, and he won the Wood Memorial from the number one hole. Now, he's going to have to work out a trip, but he would have to work out a trip if he had drawn 20 or 10 or 7 or whatever. I think he has a terrific shot to win on Saturday, and he's going to be double-digit odds.
And, Gene, who would be your pick? I know you like Mo Donegal, but who would be your pick to win right now?
Well, if my life depended on a horse winning the Derby, it would be Zandon. I would pick Zandon. He won the Bluegrass in impressive fashion. He was good last year as a 2-year-old. He's improving, and he's training well at Churchill Downs. He has the best jockey right now, arguably, in Flavian Pratt. And Chad Brown, even though he hasn't won the Kentucky Derby, he's one of the best trainers in North America. However, at 3-1, I'm not going to have a penny on Zandon to win. I will play him in other pools like the Oaks Derby Double, or maybe an exacta in a trifecta on top of other horses. But I would not play him to win because 3-1 does not give me the value that I want. I think other horses such as Messier at 8-1, Mo Donegal at 10, and Taiba at 12 offer better value.
Okay, Messier, one of those horses that Bob Baffert trained up until about a month ago. All right, let's go to long shots. Avery, give us a long shot who can win this thing.
I love Barbara Road breaking from the number 14 post position. I love the way he finished strong behind Cyberknife in the Arkansas Derby. You got to be able to handle the stretch at Churchill. If you can handle the stretch at Oaklawn Park, you can handle it. And then also, I think the track's going to be a little soft. It's going to rain from what we're hearing a lot on Friday. I'm hoping that it rains a little bit on Saturday. This is a horse that I think is going to really overperform if the track is a little bit wet because he likes to slop. He's very familiar with Churchill. But I'm all in and bullish on Barbara Road as a long shot to come in. If Mo Donegal doesn't win, I'll be just as happy as Barbara Road comes in first. If Barbara Road comes in first, I'm buying dinner for everybody at CBS Sports.
I'm going to hold you to that, Coach. I think you're going to get a really good price on Barbara Road. My long shot is Smile Happy. He's 20-1 on the morning line. He was one of the top 2-year-olds last year, and he was the early Kentucky Derby favorite after he won the Kentucky Juvenile in November. Had he won the Bluegrass Stakes, he would have been maybe the favorite or the second choice going into Saturday, but he finished second to Zandon. He also finished second to Epicenter at the in the Risen Star Stakes. But he comes into this race on the improve. His numbers are slightly improving. He's kind of the forgotten horse, and I think that's why you're going to get such a good price on Smile Happy. I like him better to finish possibly behind Zandon or Messier, but he has a big shot on Saturday.
All right, long shots to show potentially win for the guys. How about a trifecta? Avery, give us yours first.
Yes, my trifecta, I'm going with number 1, Mo Donegal, number 10, Zandon, and my long shot, Barbara Road, for my trifecta. And I think, all of those horses are very capable. If you want to throw in, another horse, you can throw in Cyberknife, coming out of a win in the Arkansas Derby. But I like this trifecta. Again, if it rains and it's a sloppy track, if it's a fast track, it's going to have a lot to do. And also jockeys, jockeys in this. You look at 2010, Calvin Burrell wins with Super Saver. That was one of the most masterful rides I've seen since I've attended the Derby. So jockeys are going to play a very important part of knowing how to keep your horses calm and navigating through traffic.
I like those picks, Coach. My trifecta will be Zandon on top, Messier second. I've got Smile Happy in third, but I think you can spread out a little bit in the second and third legs particularly with the third leg. Some other long shots to consider underneath would be simplification. I love Zozos on the from the 19 hole on the outside. I'm not in love with the post position. I'm more in love with the horse. He's training well. He performed well in Louisiana Derby. He was coming back a little bit on Epicenter at the end of that race. He's going to be forwardly placed. So if he can get a good spot coming out of that starting gate, I think he has a good shot at 20-1 to light up the top board, possibly underneath. Crown Pride, the Japanese horse, we haven't talked about him. He's looked fantastic in Kentucky Derby since arriving in Louisville in March on March 30th. He's training like no other American trainers have seen before. So he's another one to consider underneath.
All right, and lastly, my trifecta: seersucker suit,
Oh my gosh.
mint julep, and cigar. That's what I'll be going with this Saturday for the Kentucky Derby. Fellas, thank you so much, and enjoy the 148th Run for the Roses. Here are the picks from Gene Menez and Avery Johnson, who will be attending his 12th Kentucky Derby. Avery likes Mo Donegal from the rail at 10-1, and Gene says those odds are going to lengthen because he's on the rail. Messier is one of those horses that Bob Baffert used to train and had to give that up due to the sanctions from the issues last year. Barber Road, kind of sounds like Barbaro, a former great horse champion, at 30-1 to show. Smile Happy is the pick from Gene.
But I would name you.
And there are the trifectas. You would name me Smile Happy?
Yeah, that's what we need from you.
You want me to smile happy?
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.